Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Father's Day. Wanted to put a message out to the fellas. So, I want to give a shout out to those out there that are representing, taking care of your seeds, as well as those that are taking on a responsibility that may not have been biologically yours. I congratulate you. I do. This morning I got up and I went down to the ocean front about 5:15 in the morning, and I wanted to watch the sunrise. And as the sun was rising, I began to more or less initiate my morning prayer. It's no secret that I navigate my day through prayer, through discernment, and that gives me a clear mind and an understanding. But while I was down there, as I was watching the ocean, the surf cascading and the people coming and going, that also gave me an opportunity to reflect on where I am at this time in my life. Excuse me. Come on now, buddy. You see that I'm trying to talk. You gotta sit down. Come on now. Sit. Thank you. You're like, what are you doing? It's like, he's like a little ham. Let me see if I can get him on in. There you go. See, he right there. I really believe if he could talk, he'd probably give me the answers to life. But as I mentioned in a couple of my videos before, Tyson has been nothing but a divine blessing in the development for me, because through him, even though he can't talk, he can still express how he feels through nonverbal communication, and it's my responsibility to receive the messages that he's trying to convey so that he's good to go. But I also saw a connection to what I've learned thus far through him. So I'm going to drop this in this video for my fellas. For those that you may feel that you're in a crossroad in your life, you may have gone through some upheavals, things are not adding up, you may have experienced some emotional blocks, or just been through downright hell. This message is for you. Also, I want to talk about just some things that we as fellas need to come in communion and discuss. Now, for those who never seen my videos, first of all, welcome. My name is Gerald Davis. In October of 2011, I made a decision to embrace my spiritual walk, my spiritual journey. And in turn, doing so, my life has changed. I'm not a minister. However, I have a strong discernment, and I allow who I know is my higher power, my Lord Jesus Christ. And as you already know, the Creator is one of many names, to speak through me to convey the message to the masses. So that's why I do what I do. But I think that this video is going to resonate in someone's spirit. So if it does, just embrace it. Let it marinate in your mind. And hear the call that has been placed in your life. I'm also a life coach. And if you have any questions, concerns, because see, that's one thing I've come to learn as men. We don't talk. We don't talk or convey our messages like we should until there's something traumatic that happens, or something that is chaotic, that it causes us to shift direction, and it's always we're in damage control mode. Well, let me tell you something. It's okay, and I highly recommend that you get in tune with your emotions, because if you don't do that, you're not living your life to the fullest potential that it should be. That's just like if you want to have your dream car and you have all the tools to receive it, but you settle for something that is not yours. You shouldn't do that with your life. You shouldn't do that. And that's because there are certain things that are going to come into your life as they should. There's no race when it comes to your legacy. Listen, what do you mean, Jared? What are you talking about? Think about it. When's the last time you went to a cemetery or read an obituary? You always see the date of birth and the date of death. And you've got that hash. The hash is your life. So therefore it is your responsibility to live it to its fullest potential in harmony and peace. That's why there's only one you. It is your responsibility to navigate your life challenges as you are to continually grow. Because let me tell you something. The person that you see yourself in the future is depending on you to do the work. It's depending on you to follow through. And it's depending on you to have a sound mind. And you should always govern your life in such a manner. Because nobody can do that for you, only you. But you've got to get back to yourself. Now, on a different note, I've also, give me 1 second, because I got to take care of him. I don't want him to jump on the screen, and I don't want to break the spirit. Hold on, give me 1 second. Come here. Come here. Come on. Go sit down. Sit down. Sit. Your volume is down. Here. Now chill out. A dog tree to get them every time. Alright. Now, let's go back. Take a second to go back in your past. Go way back. Think back to when you were a child. When you was that little boy out there riding that bike like you in a decathlon. Think back when you were that little boy that had endless possibilities. Hold on. Sam. Come on. Go sit down. Come on. Sit. Sit. Sorry about that. And I'm going to bring that up in a second. But not to lose focus. Think back when you were that child. The world was a big, big place with endless possibilities. You might have wanted to be a fireman, a construction worker, an astronaut, a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer. You might have even wanted to be a race car driver, but whatever it was still your dreams. And as you grew up, you started to embrace life. And with that became challenges. With that, unfortunately, you started to understand disappointment. With that, sometimes you may have actually embraced agony, depression, misery, and lack of faith. See, I've come to learn that, society doesn't tell you, and it does not teach you to embrace who you are. See, in society standards, society just wants you to be one of four things: provider, the protector, Mr. Jack of all trades, master of none, and basically the big one, a consumer. There's no book. There was never any illustrations from how to grow up from a boy to a man. So you had to rely on your family members to teach you those things. And I imagine they probably did the best they could. And maybe, unfortunately, there may have been some that just dropped the ball. But I've come to learn something, even in those negative situations. For those who may have had life give them a bad hand from their childhood, actually there was a blessing in that. The blessing was you tapped into your strength. And what you had to endure more or less taught you, or should have illustrated, on what you did not want to become. But still, I mean, I've had a lot of uncertainties and disappointments in my life too. But the one thing that I've come to learn is you cannot, even if you get knocked down repeatedly, it is your responsibility to get back up. You know how they say, follow your gut instinct? That is nothing but another descriptive word of embracing your discernment. I highly recommend for those that have not embraced their spiritual walk, just give it a shot. Just give it a shot. No, you're not going to go to sleep and wake up and everything's going to be fixed. But what I can tell you this is, you'll start to plant the foundation that will ultimately give you peace of mind. It will ultimately give you clarity. No, your life is not meant to walk in drama or have people try to take advantage of you. Because every one of you, I'm talking to you, yeah, you. Even though you might have a hard disposition, I know you got a big heart. But it's our responsibility as men to define who we are. Society will never do that. The only thing they'll do is find a way to suppress it, to enable you. And if they can't do that, they've got an 8x5. You know they'll do that. You know it's kind of janky when they'll throw those up before they put a school up. That's not by chance. So my point I'm trying to make to you is this. You must stay true. Come on, buddy. Go sit down. Stay true to you, man. And I'm going to tell you why. Because your actions that you're doing right now, what you might not can see right now is this. Every action that you do is going to affect your future generations to come. The choices you make today will make an impact or a ripple effect that your legacy will have to bear. So yes, what I'm asking you to do is this. It's time. It's time for you to love yourself. It's time for you to man up and start looking at the wounds you've been holding on to. You shouldn't be waking up 8:30 in the morning and you pissed off. You pissed off because there is something going on within your spirit that ain't at peace. And you know what happens when you continue to have that behavior? And feel free to debunk this. See, when you turn around and embrace, contain emotional thought, what that does is it impacts your health. It ages you. It causes you to make emotional decisions that you shouldn't. How many of y'all know right now, you probably know somebody right now, because of where they are in their life and the choices that they made, they look 15 years older than they should. Why? Because they ain't happy. Why? Because they stopped believing in themselves. Come on, fellas. You guys deserve to be happy and be the man that you're destined to be. But listen, bro. The money that is in your pocket don't define who you are. The people in your circle don't enhance your respect. That is all done by character. Yeah, society won't tell you that either. Because society says, you know what? A man should be more or less feared than loved. Well, guess what? If you're handling your business, you never walk in fear. And you're always loved. Because you're respected. You have integrity. And when people look at you, they say, you know what? There goes a damn good bro. There goes a damn good man. Because you are living the example. Just something to think about. Because I'm going to tell you, man, a lot of us are making bad choices, and it is not easy to live in this world as a man. It is not. That is why it is so imperative so that you find balance. Because when you find balance and learn what makes you happy, what makes you tick, why you think the way you do, guess what happens? You will understand why you attract the environment that you do. I know some of y'all are like, oh, you talking about law of attraction. I'm doing one even more. See, listen. Have you noticed that when you don't do the things you're supposed to do, or you try to take a shortcut, it never turns out the way you want it to? It's because that's the spiritual energy that you're attracting. Here's a different note. If you're not respecting yourself as a person, haven't you noticed that your environment doesn't respect you and the people in it? Because that's what you're asking. That's what you're doing spiritually. But it is your responsibility to discern, to make proper choices. and govern your life. Now let's talk about that real quick. What I mean by governing your life, I learned this one from Tyson. See, some of you may be in this period of transition where you want someone significant in your life. You want someone that will unconditionally love you and be your friend. Because that's what your partner is, your best friend. Not your boy. If your boy loves you, he's going to be there regardless. And he's going to want you to grow. And he's going to want you to be happy. But I'm talking about that mate. The one. Well, let me tell you something. Guaranteed, tried and true. When you start to respect yourself, carry yourself as you know you should, two things are going to happen. Number one, your environment will change. Because everyone that is not of that like-minded, that doesn't have that mindset, guess what? They can't be around you. They can't be around you because they don't understand, because they're not there. And I don't mean from a physical stance. I'm talking from a literal stance. You know, like they say, like-minded people attract like-minded people. In another term, people that have wealth only deal with people of wealth. Yes, they'll be empathetic and entertain those who aspire to be there. But at the end of the day, what do you got to talk about? Sooner or later, real recognizes real. So think about it this way. When you're out there, we sow our seeds. Haven't you noticed? We navigate and make choices of our prospective mates through experience. Why? Because no one talks about that. And we learn through wisdom and insight of choices and experiences, may it be good or bad. But until you are able to govern your life, that means know what you want, have a plan on making it effectively fall as you want, doing the work, you can't receive the things that you are entitled to. Now, I know I probably lost about a handful of you because they're not trying to hear the truth. This message is to those that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sick and tired of being being shorted. Tired of the games. You just want to live in peace and be honest. You don't mind doing the work, rolling your sleeves up, because you know that your spirit requires that. I'm talking to y'all. And those who ain't feeling me right now, don't worry about it, brother. Your moment will come as it should. Sometimes life will give you examples to motivate you where you should be. But never lose sight of the end result. And that should be your personal happiness. Always stay true to you. Even if that means you have to stand by yourself. That's what defines a man anyway. He's willing to stand alone. And actually, women will never tell you this, but they find that appealing because of the fact that they see your worth. That's okay. You'll get your blessings. They're coming, and they're gonna exceed the things that you can imagine anyway. Now, let's take this home, because I already broke 25. I'm gonna sum this up real quick. This part goes to my fellas out there that has children, and you're not actively in your child's life or children's life. Listen here, partner. I know it's hard. It's not easy. I know you love your kids immensely. But listen, you got to sidestep the drama that you have with your children's mother. If she is not in that space where you guys cannot be together, At least try to find common ground and handle your business as their father. And if there's a situation where she may have someone else in her life, don't get mad. Don't trip. That might be a blessing in disguise. As long as you are handling your business. First of all, your children they're gonna charge you that because that's time. You can't put time, you can't buy time. You can't. But if that is the case, you stay the course, do what's required, stay out of her way, and she minds her business. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something. See, I've come to learn God, my God, He fixes all things. He makes a way when there is no way, and that thing called time will heal those wounds. And the relationship that you may have wanted may come to pass. But before you can even think that, you've got to do the work for yourself first. Because you can't grow unless you change. Get yourself together. And hey, you might just wake up and say, well, you know what? I'm better off where I am, if that's what you choose. But make sure that you're happy first. Because I'm going to tell you, man, the people that lose out in the end are the children. And they don't need to be in that environment, man. You know, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about your legacy, too. Because they see and hear everything. So make sure that you're represented. And on the flip side, if there is somebody that is handling your business, don't condemn them. Don't get mad. They're doing something that at this time you might not be able to, and they're acting in your behalf. So look at it. Look at it that way. You know, just look at it that way, man, because it's about the children. But real recognizes real. When you're able to sidestep the ego and the pride, you'll have clarity. And I believe each and every one of you guys are worth it. So come on, guys, it's time. There's a lot of women out there that's waiting for us to step up and handle our business. Because when we handle our business, guess what? The effect will change the mindset that a lot of women have. Because as you know, there are women out there that are broken. They've lost faith in men. And there are choices that they're making. Come on, man. Come on now. It's time for us to handle business. Handle business now. So look, I'm going to get off my soapbox. You guys deserve to be happy, man. Even if that means you got to walk alone for a while. But when you look back, you'll be so glad that you did. Because that's what growth does. Plus, nobody wants to be a one-dimensional brother. Because that's just temporary. That's just a temporary thing. Be that diamond that's multifaceted. Always got something to show that's different. Because that's you. Okay, fellas. I felt that in my spirit, and I felt that someone could use that word. So it's time, man. Handle your business. God's praying for you. You know I am. We're going to represent y'all. Stay blessed, fellas. 1.